Hey, hi, how's it going? Hope I got all the introductions in there. Anyways, this is episode 1 of a new series that I want to start called Wacky Records, where I take an old obscure record that I found and just talk about it. So if you're a fan of that sort of thing, pour you up a cup of coffee, sit back, and have a good time, because got a doozy for you today. So this first record that I've got for you today is what I'd classify as a corporate country record. Now, when I say the term corporate country record, I'm sure that evokes a very specific sound and image in your head, and you know exactly what I'm talking about without me having to say a single other word. You know, the kind of stuff that modern major label Nashville kind of stuff. The stuff that, you know, God forbid if you were to turn on your radio and accidentally flip to the modern country station, the sounds that your ears would be assaulted to. You know, the kind of stuff it's like, okay, well, might as well just, you know, yank the steering wheel into the ditch at this point. Let's be honest, we could sit here and rant all day about the horror show that is modern country music, but thankfully we don't have to do that. Because when I say a corporate country record in this instance, I'm really referring to something completely different, which is a country record that was produced by a corporation to support a specific product of theirs, which brings us to the big reveal. Wacky record number 1, we have 5 Bushels Closer to My Heart. Now this is a 1985 record that was created by the DuPont Corporation to promote their new product, Benlate fungicide. And right off the bat, man, we're checking every box. You know, we got the cowboy farmer fella. He's got the guitar. He's got the hat pulled down. Hay bales in the back. He's killing that A chord on there, man. Feet kicked up over the saddle. You know, he's got his beans at his feet. It's just great. And you know, we look at the sticker here, and thankfully, this includes irrigation irritations, seedy seeds, Louisiana losses, and other favorites. We open up the record here, and you know, we're assaulted with a ton of information about why Benlate fungicide is the best thing that's ever existed. And then on the back here, you got all your lyrics to all your songs. It's got 8 songs on this record, and we've got the Benlate fungicide there, and got to have that logo on there. This is official after all. So we'll get into the record a little bit more in detail in just a second here, but first I want to give a little bit of background on the DuPont Corporation for some context. I don't know about you folks, but I didn't really know a whole lot about the DuPont Corporation for a really long time. I knew one thing, which was just Jeff Gordon, you know, but aside from that, I didn't really know anything, didn't know what they did, don't really care, you know. But to make a very long story short here, so I don't want this to turn into one of those, you know, 10-hour things. You know what I'm talking about, those videos. It's like, oh, the history of the sport and its socio-economic pop culture consequences. No, we're not doing all that sort of thing. So, to keep it very brief, DuPont is a multinational biochemical corporation. With a shady history, let's be honest here. You know, they've been entangled in all sorts of things, all sorts of controversy. You ever heard of, you know, forever chemicals? That's been in the news a lot recently. You know, the stuff it's in our bodies, it's in the water, it's everywhere, you know, it's killing us, killing the environment. Well, DuPont, you know, you can thank them for that. Among many, many other things. So, all that to say, you know, a little bit of a shady reputation. And, you know, nothing inspires confidence like a multinational biochemical corporation, let's be honest. So when, you know, they're coming out with a new product, I mean, they want a way to show that, hey, this is a safe product, you know, this is good to use. It's not going to be harmful like everything else we've ever released in the past. So how are they going to do it? How are they going to sell this new fungicide? You know, the press from the last lawsuit might have been hitting them a little extra hard. You know, they're thinking of ways, well, we gotta inspire some confidence again here. You know, I can imagine the board meeting, you know, they're all sitting around the table in their suits and ties, you know, probably smoking cigarettes. It's 1984, you know, and they're sitting around there, you know, and then old Danny boy, he's over in the corner, you know, he's thinking real hard, he's puffing away, he's sitting there, and he chirps up and he says, I tell you what, boys, I got an idea here. What a farmer's like. That's who we're selling it to, right? It's a fungicide. It's going to sell to farmers. What do they like more than anything else? You know, Sitting around, Rick says, I don't know, horses, tractors? He says, no, you're thinking about it all wrong. Think about it. Country music. They'll love it. They'll eat this stuff up. Oh, you know, the champagne bottles are just popping off instantly in that boardroom there. All Danny boys walking away. Huge bonus. Probably even a promotion, let's be honest. And then we're given 5 bushels closer to my heart, you know? Something that just really going to turn the tables here. Spoiler alert here, Benlate fungicide was not, in fact, safe and effective and was pulled from the market in 2001 after the DuPont Corporation had to pay over $500 million in lawsuits because of birth defects and Benlate being a possible carcinogen. Yeah, good stuff. So that just makes this propaganda record even funnier. So now that we got a little bit of background on this amazing record here, we can get into the fun part, which is listening to what it sounds like and talking about the music. So let me go apologize to my record player real quick and let's get into it. All right, so we're at the stereo. My record player has already shed a couple of tears that it has to play this record and not a Tom Petty record. But anyways, we get to see here, this is 5 bushels closer to my heart. Benlate Fungicide presents. We start off with We Make Things Grow. Farm Family.
We're a farm family. My daughters, sons, and wife. We don't have things easy.
We Make Things Grow, track 1, starting off with an absolute bang here. You know, I also will say, it's kind of funny on the back of this record. These songs are in no particular order on the back of the record and have no correlation to the actual track list, but that's besides the point. We Make Things Grow, track 1. You know, they're really trying to lure in the farmer demographic here with this first track. There's no specific references to Benlate fungicide, nothing like that. They're not really trying to sell anything. They're just trying to give a good description of farm life. And boy, do they really try to sell that point. You know, we look at the lyrics here. We're a farm family. You know, my daughters, sons, and wife. Didn't know what family was. You know, they had to clarify. They think, farmers are probably illiterate. You know, we gotta really, really put some detail in there to make them get it. Oh, let's see. They go through every single thing that they think a farmer might do in their daily life, apparently. We hitch and fix, we fence and mend, we plow, we till, we sow, we cultivate and irrigate, and we make things grow. Yeah. You know, I can just see them sitting around there. They're like, well, you know, maybe it's not on the nose enough. You know, maybe we need to go through, we need to list out every single thing we think they might do. And then these hicks will be like, hey, that's me. I think I like this song. You know, this is speaking to me right here, boy. Now, track 2 is something to get excited about, though, because we have 5 bushels closer to my heart, the title track here, and we're also going to get our first explicit reference to Benlate fungicide, so we're in for a ball.
'Cause you're 5 bushels closer, closer to my heart. Only Benlate, yes, Benlate can do what you do.
5 bushels closer to my heart. That one really does it. You know, they got the Benlate. Only Benlate can do what you do, and I don't really know what that means, but that's the song, you know. And I gotta be honest, the rhythm section, it's kind of bumping in this song. They get the fiddle coming in there. I think they might be winning me over just a little bit. I gotta be honest with you. Oh, we got us a key change. Now that's really gonna sell. That's really gonna sell. it groundbreaking? No, but it's kind of jamming, you know, I can't lie. Irrigation irritations, starting to win me over a little bit. Starting to win me over. Another key change.
Down in southern Louisiana, there's some damage being done.
What is that? They were starting to win me over a little bit with irrigation irritations, and then you're losing me again. That's safe to say. That voice that's an interesting choice.
If I'd only used some Benlate, Louisiana losses would not be mine.
If I'd only used some Benlate. Yeah, so true. Well, Louisiana losses, that's the last one on side A, so we're halfway there. And we've had some good ones so far, you know. We Make Things Grow, 5 Bushels Closer to My Heart, Irrigation Irritations, and Louisiana Losses. It's hard for me to remember because, again, they're not in order, so that makes it a lot easier. But yeah, side B is honestly just going to be a whole lot more of what we heard on side A, so let's just get into it, get it over with. Got to give the record player a little bit of a break, though. It's struggling.
Shut up, boy. I'm trying to tell these folks something. When all these salesmen come around and say their product stops, I'll bend an ear to hear their say about their wonders for my crop.
Yeah, so side B starts off with Gimme the Facts, Jack, and we're starting off real strong. We've got Great Value Waylon Jennings on this track taking lead vocals here. And he's talking to his dog at the beginning. We hear the dog barking. You know, that'll really throw you off if you're not expecting it. And yeah, he's just saying, hey, give me the cold hard facts about Benlate, which, again, apparently is that it causes cancer and birth defects. So
Why don't you stay right? Yeah, Benlate's right for me. Thanks for the facts, Jack.
thanks.
You know
Yeah, so this one here, it starts off, it's got a good lead going, you know. And yeah, that's just Green River, CCR. And let's be honest, with DuPont involved, there's no telling what color that river is with all the chemicals they'll be dropping in it. This is awesome. Not only is it Green River, but it's also just ripping off Born on the Bayou, too. Great. Can't make this stuff up. And I run through the jungle. Does Fogarty know about this, man? This is just... CCR ripoff it's rough, but what's even rougher is the fact that we've still got 2 songs left in this album to go. And this is track 3, Seedy Seeds here on side B. You know, only one more after it. And, you know, just another song. You know, I used to sow seedy seeds, man. His beans used to be bad until he was using Benlate. And then it's just another song about the same thing, and it's kind of getting old at this point, you know. This is definitely the part where it's saying, okay, it was funny, now it's getting old, so let's wrap this thing up here. I ran out of commentary, but we had another key change. I think that's 3, maybe 4. Stopped counting.
When they ask me about my beans, it's hard to shut me up. Cause I got both beans, both beans, both beans. And it's hard to stay contained. I've got both beans, and I cannot be restrained.
Boast Beans. That's the 8th and final track on the record, which means that we made it through it. You know, we survived. And there's not really a whole lot of commentary to make at this point, you know. The 8th song, he's just singing about how good his beans are because he bought Benlate fungicide, you know. Same thing the whole album's been harping on pretty much. Except for one little line that's just a little weird. It says, of course they'll want my secrets, but not all I will tell. They might know that Benlate works, but they don't have to know how well. What are you talking about, they don't have to know how well? What's the point of this album if you don't want everyone to know how well Benlate works? That's why they made the whole thing in the first place. But, you know, that's probably reading a little bit too much into it. I mean, it's not like this thing won any Grammys or anything, obviously. Yeah, so that kind of brings us to the end of the line, I suppose. Don't really have much more to say about the album, but it's been a blast getting to talk about it and getting to joke about this random record, 5 Bushels Closer to My Heart. Definitely think that it earns the crown as being the first in the series of Wacky Records. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know, and I'll be sure to make some more, hopefully. Hopefully we can make this an ongoing thing and find a whole lot of other weird records to talk about and laugh at. But I had a really good time doing this, and I hope you had a good time watching. So, you know, great time for the obligatory, please like, subscribe, and comment down below, you know how it goes. But yeah, seriously, I really appreciate everyone that watches this video, and I hope you all have a great day. Go out there and listen to some actual good music. Cleanse the palate. Thank you so much for watching. Well, it may cause cancer. Yeah, it may cause birth defects. But my beans, they sure are